Hey guys, Shane McMurray from The Wedding Report. In this episode, I meet with Sevi. He is the owner of Princeton Perfume Company. They make custom scents and perfumes for events. Great episode. Check it out. Sevi, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Tell me about your business. Tell me where you guys are located, what you do, your website address, everything.
Sure. My pleasure. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Shane, so we are located just outside of Princeton in New Jersey. And our whole aim is to make special occasions as memorable as possible for everybody, but specifically for brides who are getting married and for couples, so that we can make the day memorable for them using the power of scent. And that's the whole premise of Princeton Perfume Company, which is we're a small startup company, and the website is www.princetonperfumecompany.com. Yes, essentially what we do is we make memorable days for couples on their special occasion using the power of fragrance.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. So, when you think about perfume, usually you buy it, you put it on yourself as a person. Or if you're thinking about like essential oils, right? So you get a diffuser, you put the essential oil and it kind of gives some fragrance in the room.
Yes.
Tell me what you guys do and how that works.
Yep. In fact, you've hit on both the pillars that we have in our business. The first one is fine fragrances, which are perfumes that you wear, we have a collection of perfumes that people can choose from, and they are all in rollable format. They're not in sprays. They're all rollables. The reason for that is actually, if you think of it, most people will buy perfume from the shop and it will be a fairly big bottle of perfume.
Yep.
Which is very difficult to carry on your special day, on your wedding day. So we have made small rollable clutch bag size perfume.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now, the unique proposition there is that you can actually use one perfume. Yeah. And these are all, my background is in scent design. Yes. So I've designed all these perfumes. I have a background in 30 years in scent design, working for many iconic brands. And in Europe, and in the US.
Nice.
So essentially, what I've done is to design the perfume so that you can either wear it by itself, or because it's a rollable, you can roll one perfume on one pulse point, another one on another, and if you mix the two, you create your own signature.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, what we can do, because of my background, what I do is I can help couples identify the right signature for them if they want. Alternatively, I can send them samples so that they can try it out themselves and identify their own signature for themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got the on person perfume. You also do it for the event day, like would the environment smell like this?
Absolutely.
This fragrance? Yeah. So how does that work?
So basically it's a similar concept. We have a collection of fine fragrances that you wear on your skin, but then what we also have a companion fragrances which are designed to work in candles.
Oh, interesting.
So what you can do is, so we have a collection of candle fragrances as well. And you can do exactly the same with that. You can have 1, 2, 3 or more candles lit together on a table, so that the combination of the aroma
Gives off their signature fragrance.
becomes their signature fragrance.
Yeah, that's great.
And then to transfer that into an even different form, and you mentioned essential oils. So we have a similar concept based on essential oils. And here, what I've done is, again, using my background in olfaction and in aroma design. I've also, my background is chemistry, so I've studied a lot of the benefits of essential oils.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so putting those two areas of expertise together, what we have done is come up with a concept whereby I have blends that I've made myself. For example, we have Relax, we have Harmony, we have Migraine blends, we have many blends.
Yeah.
And essentially the idea here is that if you look at the whole landscape of aromatherapy or essential oils and even perfumery, it is a very, very confusing landscape. Imagine when you walk into Macy's, how many sales people literally bombard you with the call to buy their fragrance and to smell their fragrance.
Yeah.
And is a very, very confusing environment and landscape. And what we have done is to simplify that by giving people the opportunity to receive some samples at home, and the opportunity to actually wear them and live with them, and until they're comfortable, not to make any decision.
Yeah.
But then also to have a situation where each one is almost a bespoke fragrance, because it's their signature.
Gotcha. So let's talk a little bit about how we get to the signature fragrance. Sure. So first off, how do couples find you? Are most of them coming through referrals? They smelled something somewhere and they go, "Oh, hey, where'd you get that?" They just discover you online, and then once they get to you, what does the process look like to generate a signature blend or a signature smell?
Sure. So just to kind of give you a little bit more of a background, we have been in business as a startup. Just about 2 years ago, I started this company. At that time, it was called Heaven Sense. Yeah. Okay. But honestly, Heaven Sense took people to a totally different place. It didn't really represent what we do. And what we do is very simple. We make perfume for special occasions. We make aroma, yeah. And I wanted to communicate that. And we relaunched the company in September of last year, and under the Princeton Perfume Company.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the idea there was that we learned a lot from the Heaven Sent startup. And when we relaunched Princeton Perfume Company, the idea was very simple. We want to make sure that we deliver the best signature fragrance to anyone who asks us to help them.
Yeah.
And so from there, most of the business right now comes from referrals.
Gotcha.
And a lot of those referrals are face-to-face referrals. I work a lot with 1 or 2 bridal boutiques and 1 or 2 gift shops. Mm-hmm. And they refer some of their customers to me. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the process is very simple, because again, another philosophy that I have is that we need to make it as simple as possible to do business with us. Yeah. I don't want to make it too complicated. The whole area of designing perfumes is actually a very, very complicated.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of science behind all of it, I'm sure. Yeah.
But for me, what I want to do is to make it as simple as possible for every person to be comfortable knowing that whatever they're wearing is of the best quality and is their signature.
Okay. So how do they get to, what is the process when
So if
someone
they,
comes to you? Yeah. I mean, that says, hey, I mean, do you go like, hey, I like, what smells do you like? Right. Like I like cinnamon and I like vanilla and and
yeah.
then, or I like this flower. And then you kind of like go off of that, or do you do some other process to get to what they like?
So what we have actually is, I think an amazing piece of innovation, which I'll share with you. But essentially, the idea is that we want to provide everybody with samples that they can use themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and and then from those samples, we would have a consultation whereby we would talk to them, and it can be remote via Zoom, it can be face to face,
Yeah.
where we would talk to them, we would talk with them about what their preferences are. And then from there, using those samples, they can communicate what sample they like, or what one or two samples they like
Hmm.
or don't like.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes not liking a sample gives me more insight than actually liking
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. I don't like this fragrance, or I don't like, yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah. So for example, um, a lot of people in the US love the smell of melon, this very fruity, fresh,
Yeah.
slightly sweet note. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's found in fragrances such as Tommy, for example, Dolce & Gabbana. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, However, if you take that same fragrance to Europe and ask a typical French consumer, they will, a lot of the time, they will not like the fragrance. And when we
Interesting.
analyze the two, it's because of this very sweet melon note.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, a lot of the insights are gained from talking with people, and it doesn't take long. It's normally a half an hour session.
I got you. So you have a base set of fragrances that you can get to something. You send
Yes,
them the samples, you ask them questions about the samples, and then from that you can determine kind of what's going to work for them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And on the other side, when it comes to essential oils, we can do the same. And
Gotcha.
with essential oils, in fact, it's just to let you know that pretty much all our perfumes, we're in the process of converting all the perfumes into 100% natural essential oil-based compositions.
That's great.
And that's the first thing. The second thing is that with the current bank of essential oils that we have, blends that we have, they are all very, very simple. The philosophy is to make it as simple as possible. We have a maximum of 5 essential oils that we use. I work with perfumers and other people, and basically we create different blends using just 5 essential oils.
Interesting.
And but really interesting is that if someone says, you know what, there's too much lavender in there, when you have a perfume with 50 or 60 components, it's very difficult to modify.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a blend or a perfume with 5, then it's easy to modify and adjust.
Yeah,
And
because the ingredients calculation is a lot simpler, right, than trying to go, oh, it's
exactly,
it's 1 milligram of this and 2 milligrams of that and a 0.5 of this and a yeah.
yeah, and lavender is a great example where there are 2 main types of lavenders, uh, and they both have different benefits and different aromas. Yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes we use both lavenders in a blend, and straight away someone will say, oh, I don't like this lavender because it's got too much of a spa note, and I know exactly which one it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and so that's what we do, and we do it through very simple communication, simple language, nothing flowery, nothing too complicated.
Gotcha.
Because ultimately what we want to do is to make sure that, like I said, it's as simple as possible to do
Yeah.
business.
So how long does the process usually take? So you send me samples, maybe a week or so, I get them.
Yes.
Um, we have a discussion online, and then you decide what formulation. Is there a process then that you go back and send them a sample of that, and then they kind of give you some more feedback, and then what is that? What happens?
Generally, in the first round, we would send someone 5 samples. Okay, and those 5 samples, just to kind of share with you. So normally the most fragrances in a roll-on format.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we have done is we've actually I've thought long and hard about this and how to sample in the best way, as cost effectively as possible
Yeah.
as well,
Sure. Yes.
but also to allow the person who is actually sampling to remember what they're using and make it at the top of their mind. So I've
Gotcha.
actually patented a card, and you may
Oh
be
yeah. Yeah. I see it. Yeah.
right. So
Yep.
this card has a container, and this is a solid perfume. Okay. So what you do is you basically you just wear it like that. Okay.
Nice.
But to make it even more interesting is that what you can do with this card is it stands. It acts as a stand. Can you see?
Yeah.
So when it acts as a stand, um, it can be in front of you, it can be in your purse, and with the perfume name and everything on there, you can easily identify what perfume you have used, and then from that, we can discuss which one you like,
Yeah.
and then we can after that initial set of 5, once you identify the one you like, then we can easily modify that and send it to you. We normally send 3 samples.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's round 2, right? Or
Round
does
2.
that? Yeah.
And then after that, we would then have a discussion. I think generally speaking, in my experience, most of the time, 99% of the time, after round 2, people are very, very clear what they're like.
I got you. And then, so then how long does it take from there for you to get them what it is they're asking for?
Not long at all. Normally 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
So the whole process, maybe a month
So
turnaround
one,
time?
1 month is about the average that we normally find. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And so, if someone's looking to do this, what are they looking at cost wise?
Cost wise, it depends. We have a number of different um, cost effective solutions, I would say,
Okay,
uh, ranging from a small rollable fragrance bottle, which is priced at $15, uh, all the way to a package of different fragrances. And again, we can work that out and what I mean by that is different fragrances for a rollable format, a candle format, and
gotcha.
it can be a small candle or a large candle. We can even brand it with the couple's name, for example. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
Um,
you have different, but it can go all the way up to the average, I would say, is the average package is about $75 to $100.
okay. And is there an initial cost setup consultation fee that you charge?
Yeah. The first consultation, half an hour is free.
Right,
Yeah.
but to get the samples and to do all that process, I got to imagine there's some fee involved,
Well, the samples we provide at cost. You have to pay for postage,
right?
shipping,
Makes
but the
sense.
samples are provided at cost. Um, and again, what I'm trying to do is to really help make that day as memorable as possible. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
know the budgets are very tight, so
But that's
so
very reasonable. I mean, even if it's, $50 for you to with cost,
Yeah.
50 to $100 for you to help me figure out my fragrance. And
Yes.
then at the end, I'm spending,
Yeah.
75 to $150 on fragrances and stuff for my event. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's very reasonable.
Yeah. Generally, we find that whenever we worked with people, they leave with a smile on their face.
That's great. That's great. So, what advice would you give couples if they're looking for an experience like this for their event? I mean, what's the specific advice you would say to them? Hey, maybe they're. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure that many people are aware that this is kind of an available thing for
No,
them.
no, exactly.
So, I guess I mean, knowing that, right? I mean, what advice would you provide?
I would say that there is absolutely no harm in giving me a call and talking about what type of atmosphere and experience they want to create for their guests. I think one of the things, actually, from your research, Shane, is that most people want their guests to leave with a positive experience.
Yeah, yeah.
I think guest experience is, I think, in the top three
Yes.
for wedding expectations. Yeah.
Yes, for sure,
and
for
and
sure. Guest experience, even for the couple, the experience of the day is really, it's about the experience, with family and friends and just, and meeting
yeah.
and marrying or coming together with the love of your life, right? And
Exactly.
yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
now imagine what happens with regards to creating memories. Okay, so the first thing is that all the different senses
Yeah.
that we have been all most of us have been blessed with come into play, and people will worry about the taste, in other words, the food,
Yep.
which is absolutely fine. They will worry about the auditory
Yeah, the
sense,
sounds.
the
Yep.
echo, the music, whatever.
Yep. How everything feels and,
and, and then everyone has a color for their wedding, a color theme for their wedding.
yep.
Yeah.
So that's
Um,
the visual.
right. Then you have the touch, which is everything to do with the dress, and it's just one of those very, very sensual senses.
Yep.
And then finally, as far as the sense of smell is concerned, um, there's not many people. Most people will go out and buy Chanel or one of the other top brands. But guess what? Most of the people in that wedding party will be wearing the same perfume.
Yeah.
So you become uh, part of the. You want to stand out, but actually the sense of smell will hold you back.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the other thing too is I don't think people think about like the environment of the smell of the environment, because if you're having an outdoor wedding, it might be a little different, right?
Yes.
The desert has a very unique smell versus, a place in the woods or, an old barn or a hangar for that matter, or or a rest or a hotel, right? A resort. They all have different.
Yeah, and and the other interesting is a piece of research that's been done, which where they find that after a year, only 35% of the people can recall the visual aspects of a room. However, 65% can recall the smell in that room.
I
Yeah.
believe that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we all have smells that we've smelled over the years, and we smell that, and
Right.
then we run across that smell again, and we go, wow, or you think about it from the past or something. Yeah. Agreed.
And so the whole premise of Princeton Perfume Company is to really enhance the experience and the memory through the smell. Now, to take it one stage further is that once someone is happy with their signature scent, we can even provide diffusers for them so that they can actually, if they wanted to, diffuse a very, very subtle, a hint of that signature note into the air.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a 360 degree scent
I
creation.
love it.
Pro-
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit, talk about the business side. So as a business owner, what would you say has been working well for you guys as a business owner?
Um, my experience, and it's only been 2 years now, and this is a fairly new concept. So
Sure.
what's been working well is exactly things like this, face to face, where I can explain to people uh, through social media platforms exactly what the concept is behind Princeton Perfume Company. So that's been working very well, face to face.
Awesome.
Um, Talking with people, doing trade shows is also very interesting. Um, but generally, face to face interaction is proving to be the best. Um, and I'm in the middle of literally putting together a series of videos for YouTube to
Nice.
explain the different scents that we have in our collection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because that's the educational part is probably the thing that's going to work for you the most, since this is a new,
right.
you don't see this as a concept of people doing all the time at weddings. It's not often brought up, right? So
No, exactly.
um, it fits into, to me, it kind of fits, I don't know, it fits into a to the decor kind of category-ish kind of thing if you looked at it from a category perspective, but no one's really talking about fragrance and scents.
No.
So yeah, I think education videos would be awesome for you guys to do that, talk about the different fragrances and things like that, and how, how, what the process is and how you do it. That would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole plan uh, for this summer, is to put a series of videos together um, of the different scents of what the company does, and really the process in a simplified way, so that we can help uh,
Yeah,
people navigate through this fairly crowded landscape of perfumes and fragrances.
yeah, agreed. So what would you say are your biggest challenges as a business owner today?
Yeah, the biggest challenge um, is to really communicate the power of communicate sense.
Yeah,
Okay, most people's visual sense is obviously the most powerful when it comes to selecting products. Um, and as much as people love perfume and they love to hear and talk about perfume, to communicate the power of perfume without smelling it is the biggest
yeah,
challenge.
extremely difficult. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I can't smell it from here. Like it's just not possible.
exactly. However, uh, since since the since this invention, and the patent has been it's kind of almost there with the patent. But since this, I do believe that this, together with some YouTube videos that we have created of ingredients that go to make up certain blends, and showing people what happens when those blends come together.
Yeah,
Uh, I think we're going to push the boundaries of communication and communicating
yeah,
perfume. Let's see where we end up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Why not? Let's do it.
right.
So as a business owner, you've been in business, you've been doing this for a long time, even though
Yes.
you've been in business for 2 years with this specific thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've been around large companies, you understand business, you understand corporations, but as a small business owner, what advice would you give other small business owners that would help them?
Absolutely. I think the one piece of advice that I would give to everybody is, if you really believe in something, don't give up. And it's easy to say. So to turn it round, just have the grit your way through it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because believe me, gritting your way through it is eventually going to lead you to success, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it might take 10, 15 years, but if you believe in it, and I think you keep gritting through it, eventually you get through there.
I
Yeah.
think, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. I
Um,
say to my kids, I have two boys, and I say to them, the one philosophy in life is that you have to learn how to lose
yeah,
before you can win.
yeah. I like that because I used to take disappointment, failure
Yeah.
pretty difficultly. But I learned so a long time ago. Well, not too much long ago, but I had a coach that was a personal coach,
Right.
and her feedback to me was, you need to stop thinking about failure as failure. You need to start thinking about failure as feedback.
Yes.
And because really it is just feedback about what it is that's happening so that you can make adjustments to make it better. So you can either take the failure and then just give up, right? Or you can take that information as feedback and then apply it back in and
Yep.
then just continue on. And that was really helpful for me
Yep.
to just reframe failure as not failure but feedback.
Absolutely. And that's so true. I think Winston Churchill once said, um, success is a series of failures, or something to that effect.
Yeah, it is. It really is, because so now, you almost like you want to fail quickly, right? You want to get out, do stuff, fail quickly, get the
Yeah,
feedback so that you can continue to,
exactly.
doesn't always happen like that, but if you can fail quickly and get the feedback and then redo it, then I think that's super helpful.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So you guys been doing this for a couple of years now, so I'm sure you've got a story for me. So what is your best or worst wedding or business story you got for me?
Well, I would say that the best story is really to do with this, and I've branded them as "Remember Me" cards. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and it happened just a few weeks ago, where I do many shows, and at most of the shows, people are always asking for samples,
Yep.
and
Especially for fragrance, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
and that can be quite costly, as you can
Sure.
imagine.
Yeah.
So I came up with this idea, and 3 weeks ago, a couple stopped by, and they asked if I could produce this for them in a large quantity. And
It's like a wedding favor.
right, exactly.
Nice. Yeah.
And I never thought of it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And in that one meeting, uh, has spawned an amazingly powerful idea on how we can make uh, table favors, yeah, in a
Yep.
very cost-effective way, which will be memorable for all the guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know,
That's awesome.
and that's just such a fantastic story.
It's
Yeah,
amazing how much you learn from your customers, right? And
right.
you talk to them and then you get these ideas and you go, wow, I didn't think of it like that. And then all of a sudden you've got this thing.
Exactly.
The a good another story on this is that the cup, they've been to Starbucks, but the little sleeve that goes over the cup was
Yes.
invented by a customer. It wasn't invented by someone actually at
Right.
Starbucks.
Exactly.
Crazy,
Exactly.
right?
Crazy, but you know what? If you listen to your customers, and if you expose, you know, your product to the customer as often as possible, sooner or later something will spark the imagination, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So,
Sevi, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate you taking the time. Have a great weekend.
thank you. You too. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. I hope that you found it helpful. Please share it with other people. Also, if you're getting married or you work in the wedding industry, I would love to interview and share your information with other people. Send me a text 520-399-8580 or shoot me an email at letschat@wedding.report.